Salve, this is Dave, and just reading some more of Socrates, explaining why he has such a bad reputation as he's being put on trial for his life for corrupting the youth. And he is explaining how he earned this reputation. And when we last left off, he talked about how his friend Chaerephon had gone to the oracle at Delphi and asked, "Is there anyone wiser than Socrates?" And the oracle said that no one is wiser than Socrates. So now Socrates is going to explain what he did next. And I think you're going to understand pretty quickly why it did not make him lots of friends. So let's start at the top here. Oh, and if you want to learn ancient Greek or Latin, you can look in the video description for information about how to contact me. And this is something that I've been tutoring for many years on my evenings and weekends. It's kind of something I'm very passionate about and love to pass on to new students, whether you're a struggling, maybe you have a struggling seventh grader who's trying to learn, or maybe you're, I don't know, maybe you're much older and you just like to learn something that is new or new to you. It's actually thousands of years old and exciting. So feel free to contact me about that. We can start pretty fast if you're really interested. Anyway, let's go to the top of this story here. What does Socrates have to say for himself next? He says, so he's just been told about this oracle, of what the oracle of Delphi had to say. Ego de epe ekusa elogizomen hutosi pros emauton. And this says, but I, okay, ego de, epe ekusa, so ekusa, this is the aorist of akuo. So when I heard, akuo, like acoustics, right? Elogizomen, and this verb means like I reasoned, I considered, pondered, hutosi, thus prosemauton, to myself. So he's kind of thinking out loud to himself, right? And here's what he is thinking in quotation marks. Ti pote buletai legen ho theos. So this is a question. The semicolon here is the Greek language question mark. T is the neuter interrogative pronoun what, like quid in Latin. So what ever, pote, buletai, whatever, hotheos, whatever does the god want to say? Okay? You remember bulamai, that's been in our vocabulary stack, and that just means to wish or want. So what on earth does the god want to say? Ego gar de oida hoti sophos up emi. And he is saying, for I, the gar is for, right? For I, indeed, de oida, I know. This is an irregular verb that forms in the aorist for present tense usage. Okay, so for I know hoti, that, up emi, I am not, sophos, wise. Hiun pote lege hotheos, legon hos ego sophotatos emi. So, what? And so whatever is the god saying, repeating the question, basically, right? Legon, and this is also saying, it's the participle, saying that I am the wisest, that emi sophotatos. Okay. Kai hos udes sophoteros, and that no one, udes is no one, is wiser, sophoteros. Okay. Ugar de pu pseudetai, ge, ugar demis auto. So, ugar de pu pseudetai, I do not, for, gar is again for I do not suppose he is lying, pseudetai, right? Pseudonym, whatever, to lie. Okay, I do not suppose he is lying, ge, or at least I do not suppose he is lying, ugar themis auto, for it is not lawful for him. Auto, for him, is the dative, right, of him. emis is this word, like it's allowed by the divine law. Like the gods aren't allowed to lie to you, right? I mean, I don't know if you know any Greek mythology, that's kind of a doubtful thing to say, but okay. Ananke gar esti, okay, for it is ananke. You might remember we have a verb in our vocab stack, anankazo, to force or compel someone. Ananke means like necessity. For it is necessary, okay, hontheon, that the god, jump to the end here, legain, that the god say, uden, alo, nothing other than tenaletian, than the truth. All right. We've seen a version of that previously in the last reading, if you remember. So, for it is necessary that the god should, and this is not the last time we're going to see that either, by the way. It is necessary that the god should say nothing but the truth. Kai polun men chronon e porun. All right, I'm going to translate ti pote lege. So I'm just going to translate up to there. And polun chronon is the accusative of duration. For a long time, so kai is and, right? For a long time, e porun. Now this is a imperfect form, first person singular. For a long time, I was at a loss, right? I was confused. Ti pote lege, what in the world, whatever he was saying. Remember, the Oracle of Delphi speaks for the god Apollo. That's the so, and I think we're going to see his name here soon. So, what was it here? Yeah, epeta de. Okay, but then, okay, and let's jump to the epeta de zetesin etrapomen poteron alete lege hoteos eu. All right. So then, etrapomen, I turned. This is actually another verb that is in our flashcard stack, trepomai, to turn oneself. So then I turned epizetesin, to an investigation. Okay, this word, a noun related to the verb that's in our flashcard stack, zeteo, to see. So then I turned to an investigation. Poteron, this is whether. Okay, this is when you have two choices of things, one or the other. You say whether this or that. So whether alete lege hoteos, whether the god is speaking the truth, or speaking truly, or not. Eu. Okay. Ugar ebulomen en aporia enai. Okay, so for I did not wish ebulomen en aporia enai, to be in confusion, in a state of confusion. Perito manteon, as relates to the oracle's proclamation. Okay, so then elton un episopfontina. Therefore, okay, that's un. I went, elton. This is the second aorist of erchomai. So, therefore, I went episopfontina, to a certain wise man. And then he says, edoke gun sophos enai. So the gun here, this is a couple of words rammed together, and we can translate it as at any rate, as it's given to us in the textbook. So, at any rate, edoke, he seemed enai, to be, that's the infinitive of to be, sophos, wise. So, I went to a certain wise man. At least he seemed to be wise. Okay, ebulomen gar elenkein to manteon. For I wished to elenkein, to refute to manteon, the proclamation of the oracle. Okay, elenchus is a word often used to describe Socrates' method of discourse, right, where he's trying to refute the points of his interlocutors, but this is where you get it from, this word elenkein. Okay. All right. So for I wanted to refute the proclamation, kai apophanein, and to reveal hoti, that, and then we have a quotation here, sumen o Apollon, you o Apollo, eleges, you said, hoti ego sophotatos, that I am the wisest, hutos de sophoteros estin, but this guy is wiser. Right? So he's trying to prove the oracle wrong. No, 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 I can't be the wisest man. I'm going to go find somebody who's wiser than me. So he goes to this specific wise man. And what happens? Dialegomen un ego prostuton ton sophon. Okay? So I conversed with this wise man, politikon tina onta, him being a politician. Okay? Hodaner hos ego omen edoxege sophos enai uk on. So the man, as I thought, okay, this is from oimai, this word omen, as I uh, thought or believed, okay, edoxe get sophos enai, he at least seemed edoxe to be enai sophos, wise, ukon, not being wise, okay, not being, okay, pi epede eperomen apophanin auton docunta sophon enai ukonta hutos kai poloi ton paronton ἐμίσουν me. All right, so what's going on here? And after epeiromen, after I questioned auton, okay, after I questioned apophanein to reveal auton, him, docunta, seeming sophonenai, to be wise, not being wise, ukonta, again, using that participle, right, ukonta, hutos kai poloi ton, so this man, hutos, and poloi ton paronton, many of those present, ἐμίσουν me, disliked me. You can imagine that. You go around showing that people are frauds, and all of a sudden, people start to hate you. Okay. So, prosemauton un hutos elogizomen. You know, we will come back here and start on line 12 in the next one, because we're at 13 minutes now. But till next time, Vale, and if you want to learn these wonderful languages of ancient Greek and Latin, just drop me a line. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.